This is a camera for those seeking adventure, for anyone feeling stuck in their creativity and wondering where the spark went. And that's why I picked up the Om5 II and called my friend Rich to go on a trip with the camera, somewhere worth the trouble, somewhere that might bring the spark back.
If you're gonna start an adventure, photography, nature vlog, you gotta do it at sunrise.
As soon as we got outside, the morning sunlight instantly made the mundane feel magical. And each photo felt like an old postcard. And there was always good reason to stop.
Oh my God, dude, we have to get out of the car.
Something about the mix of fog and colors made these images feel almost like a film camera.
We need to do this all the time. I feel so silly that I don't do this more often. Okay, let's get going.
While shooting, the thing that blew me away was how good the kit lenses for the Om5 II were, especially the 14-150, because that's an insane zoom range.
This lens with the crop factor is a 300mm lens because it's a 14-150. So I'm shooting 300mm across the lake, handheld. This is absolutely a tripod shot. I'm doing this handheld. That kind of blows my mind.
And it also let me get really close to small things, and I mean really close.
Okay, yet another example of how mind-blowing Micro Four Thirds sensors are. I am shooting way down into that thing with a 300mm, and dude, look at this photo. Like, this is like borderline macro photography. It's insane. I'm so impressed by these lenses. I'll be honest, I'm only shooting with 300mm lenses now, like 24s, 50s, 85s, I don't know them. 300s only.
And I also had plenty of resolution to zoom in with. Shout out to the 20 megapixel Micro Four Thirds sensor.
If I did have a high resolution sensor with maybe like 150mm, I would need to crop that image anyways, and I would probably end up at the same 20 megapixel resolution of this camera. Micro Four Thirds actually might be the move. Let me take some more here.
After shooting all morning, the thing that definitely stood out the most were the colors.
This camera has something called Color Creator, where you can literally make your own LUT or like custom look in camera in a couple of seconds. And this is just changing the game for me, because instead of having to go through a bunch of filters, be like, do I want something warm? Do I want something cold? I can literally just put it together in like 2 seconds and just like go shoot.
So with a morning adventure out of the way, I only got more excited to experiment and see what else we could cook up.
All right, that was all of the sunrise photography I ever need to do for the rest of my life. I have all the sunrises I ever need, but I want to keep playing with this camera. The main thing I'm interested in is the design. If it lives up to the hype of being a small adventure camera that just like gets out of my way so I can have fun with photography, I want to play with this more. Where are we going next?
Well, what do you want to test out with this thing? And I'll tell you some spots.
I have 2 key features I really want to look at. One, it has a mode called Live ND, where you can literally shoot without a physical ND filter and get 16 stops of ND. Like, I don't even have a physical filter that does 16 stops of ND. Yeah. And it does it all in camera, nothing external required. And it has a mode that you can actually double or triple your base resolution in camera without anything external. So those are the 2 modes I'm most interested in. I want to go try that out. Do you know a spot?
I think I got a spot for both.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Next up, we headed to a waterfall. I'll be honest, it looked way bigger and cooler on Google Maps. And we definitely went to cooler places afterwards. But it was more than enough for 2 YouTube stooges.
All right, so right now we are living through every photographer's nightmare, shooting super close to water with people walking through your shot and splashing water on you and on the camera. Thankfully, this camera is splash resistant. But next up, I want to check out something called computational photography in this camera. And there's a couple really cool features I want to check out. The first one is called Live ND. And this basically lets your camera act like it has an ND filter on it just through computational photography, and you do not need a physical ND filter. That helps you keep your camera package smaller even when you're doing something more complicated like this. So for this, we want to hit the CP button, go into computational photography, and go all the way to the very last ND, which is ND 16. And this is going to force us to shoot only below 1/4. And again, that's a slow shutter speed that we need to get that slow water movement. So for this, let's go with 1/2.5, f/22, ISO 200, and let's fire away. Oh my God, that worked perfectly. Okay, in all seriousness, I was expecting it to be a little bit like more janky than that, but that worked perfectly. Let's go for another take. I'm impressed. Let's zoom in here. Yeah. Everything around it is still super sharp. Nothing looks overexposed or clipped. Yeah, I'm impressed. However, the OM5 is water resistant. Let me be clear, it's not waterproof, but it has an IPX53 rating, which means if you splash water on it from a vertical 60-degree angle, it will be just fine. So if I do this, a lot of water on here. Let me just get some more. This should be just fine, and it's pretty wet. Like there's literally water dripping off of this, and let's see if it turns on. Still good, still kicking. I'm not worried at all. And I will let you guys know at the end of this video if this camera's still working, and chances are if it stopped working, we didn't finish this video, let you know at the end.
Oh, and just because we're lunatics, we had to push our luck further by pouring sand on it. I know, I felt like a 12-year-old, but it had to be done, guys. And next up, it was time for the second location.
Okay, so we're at the first location, and I thought it was gonna be something naturey, but we are literally at a giant cave. I'm 35 years old, I've never been to a cave. You really are like the Jedi of outdoor locations. So Rich brought us to this gorgeous cave that I really want to photograph. Now, to some people, this might just look like a pile of bricks and might seem uninteresting. I totally understand. But for me, I really love repeating patterns. I think that's one of the things that drew me to street photography. So I really want to shoot these gorgeous limestone rocks and use the art mode, but also the high resolution mode to actually make good use of that mode, because I feel like a lot of people just look for resolution just because they want resolution, but I feel like the subject matter has to actually call for that extra resolution. So we're gonna shoot this both at 50 megapixels and 80 megapixels on the tripod. Let's go with the first 50. Okay, and let's take this photo. It's gonna be on a 2-second timer because I don't want to shake the camera on the tripod. And let's see how this looks. All right, and I also got to do the 80 megapixel mode on the tripod. Like 80 is ridiculous. That's basically math. That's 4 times the resolution. Took me too long to do that math, but let's see how this looks. I'm genuinely excited because it's like, oh yeah, you can see a lot more in this photo. That is a significantly sharper image. Future me here, well, actually like 10 minutes in the future, I actually just called one of my friends who is a devoted OM system user, and I asked him about the high-res mode, and what he actually explained to me really surprised me. High-res mode isn't just about getting a higher resolution, but it's also about getting better dynamic range, more information in the shadows, less noise, and overall better sharpness. So it's more than just more resolution, it's all these other benefits that come with having a higher resolution. And smash cut. Okay, this is probably a really awkward and abrupt cut, but it's for a good reason. We were over there on the hike, and I just started getting bit by mosquitoes nonstop. Like I have one on my nose, one on my eyebrow, one on my back, one on my neck, and I just rage quit. And I just ran back to the car. Rich came in like 15 minutes later. He's like, oh, where were you? Like, I didn't even know you left. So I am officially done with this part of the woods. I want to go somewhere nice. I want to go somewhere epic. You've been telling me about some epic, beautiful place that you have planned. Can we please go there now?
Yeah, we're gonna go to the Indian Head Cove up near Tobermory. It's probably got the nicest, cleanest waters, a lot of nice rocks. It's a cool little bay. Probably the best place around.
And finally, we hit the location I was most excited for. This actually turned into an hour-long hike, but the small OM5 was very easy to bring along.
Okay, kind of a kooky thing to be excited about, but I literally put this up to my eye, went through all my different color modes with one hand while holding another camera to vlog this experience. But I was able to do it all with one hand. And honestly, if you're out and about traveling in high pressure situations where you maybe just have one hand free, if you're rock climbing, this I can see being a feature that matters.
And we eventually made it to the prettiest spot on this whole trip. And this is where the camera really shined. It was perfect as a lifestyle in the moment photo camera. And I was able to put a different mood in the exact same location and look at the location in different ways. And we also got an absolutely epic sunset shot.
So I've been shooting on the Om5 II all morning and I'm really impressed. And normally you guys know I'm kind of a nerd. I care about resolution and all the megapixels, but instead this camera kind of stole my heart with its design. And I'm actually glad it's such a small camera because it's so light. Now I'm not gonna spit a bunch of numbers and facts at you, that's boring. But with the weight of this camera, it's actually only about as heavy as an iPad or 2 cell phones, which is really easy to take traveling with you. And I was a little nervous about the minimal button layout. However, this camera, first up, has one of the nicest grips I've ever used. Despite having big, meaty sausage hands, the grip perfectly fits my hand. I've got 2 dials, one on the front, one on the back, so I can control my aperture and shutter very quickly. The ISO is actually on the thumb grip in the back, which does help me hold this camera better, but I simply push my thumb down on thumb grip, turn the front dial, and I can change my ISO. With computational photography, I simply push down the computational photography button with my index finger, turn the back dial. Everything is super easy to access, and everything is also very customizable on this camera. The on and off switch is actually on the left, which is a little bit awkward if you're already shooting, you have it up to your face and you gotta go dit, dit, dit. But instead, you can even customize the lever in the back of the camera to either turn your camera on and off or to switch between photo and video mode. Everything can be set up exactly how you like to shoot. Another thing I really like about this camera, I was so surprised by how good this EVF is. Usually with small cameras like this, your EVF is this tiny little screen you see in this like hole that you put your eye up to, but this is a really large EVF that actually covers your entire field of view, and it's a really immersive photography experience. There's really not much to talk about with this screen except for the fact it is really bright, so if you're shooting outdoors, no issues there. The lenses, they are shockingly small. This is a 12 to 40 millimeter lens, and with this lens, that's technically a 24 to 80 millimeter lens. That is plenty of range. Normally, I would have a gigantic zoom on my camera like this, but with this, it's a really small lens. Really light camera, just makes everything a lot easier. Overall, the design of this camera is phenomenal. I was really not expecting this to be such a fun camera to shoot on.
Using the Om5 II has been a breath of fresh air. The combination of small camera body and lenses allowed me to experiment more freely with my ideas and get the kind of shots I imagined. I never felt like the technicals held me back. I can honestly say it brought the joy and spark for travel and adventure photography back into my life. If you get a chance to pick up this camera, I highly recommend it.